And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day here, the second day of Maestros. So the game, the preliminary stage, day number 2. I'm of course your ZvP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the Boon Chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome, one and all, to the round of 24. We of course were live yesterday with day number 1, with initial rounds, with the initial 4 qualifying matches. Now we have another 4 ready for you. Here we go. As we have 4 matches here for tonight's broadcast, as you can see on my right hand side, we do have SHIN versus Creator to start the evening off. We do have Hero Marine versus Trigger, Bunny versus Skillless, and Lambo versus Estrella. Let's go. We have 4 series back to back, and we have our first best of 5 ready. Again, these are all going to be best of 5s, not best of 3s, and the winner of these matches will advance on to the group stage. Exclamation mark and be in the chat to have a look at the back yourselves. Again, you can get a link to the Wikipedia page. We covered day 1 yesterday, and now we're jumping into day number 2, and the videos are done, and we are getting to our first game of the broadcast. We're jumping into Pylon. Here we go. There's a lot to get into. Vamonos, papi, vamonos. Papi, ga. Also, shout out to all those in the chat as well. I do see 007. I see MJG. Easy Phil as well. Kupo as well. Bienvenidos. I stand. So jumping into our series this morning, in the bottom right hand corner of Pylon, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing himself, currently teamless. It is Creator. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Zerg player. We have the red Zerg representing Weibo Gaming. It is a SHIN. Here we go, as our best of 5 is upon us. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our ZvP. Oh my god. And we have our players. Let's go. We have SHIN and Creator. Let's go, Bobby. Let's go. As we're jumping into our initial best of 5, so far so good. We have our standard openers here, as we do have SHIN forsake the unnatural natural. But welcome one and all to Pylon. Pylon is one of the smaller maps in the map pool. Shield rush distance by ground. Aggression is favored here as we load into Pylon, and we'll see how aggressive our players are going to be. SHIN, known for being hyper aggressive, especially in the mid game off of a 3-base economy. We'll see if Creator can keep up. Creator, he is willing to cheese it up as well. We have seen Creator time and time again going to Glaive Adepts, for example, go and mix in Twilight Council openers into his series. So we do expect to see Creator mix things up a little bit here, and at some point play standard, at other points be more aggressive and more assertive as well. So we'll keep an eye on both players. Again, both Creator and SHIN, they are both good friends, of course, as many of the players are, and very well versed with each other as well. So we'll see. We'll see how they do compare. Meanwhile, shout out to Este Bomioja in the chat. Este Bomioja has a green screen, doesn't use it. It's fine. Este SHIN. True. I could activate SHIN's green screen, but it would only work with half of his screen because he's not covering himself. Like, you can see, it looks like he's moved his green screen to the side, so it's not covering like his entire background. So I can't. It'll just be awkward. I can't help him out too much, man. Yeah. He's gonna be half in space. Only half. For now though, we spoke about Twilight Council openers from Creator. We have a Robo opener, a rare sight in this matchup. Now this could be one of two things. We have seen a lot of, in the past there used to be this more defensive build where you go Robo into a faster Bane into Colossus production with early Immortal production as well. But in current meta, especially on Pylon, I wouldn't be opposed, or I wouldn't be surprised if we started Immortal production early, get into Sentries, and go for an early move out, an early push instead. So our eyes on Creator. Also, what this could be is Robo into Twilight Council, into Temple Archives, into Archon drop. But I believe by then we would already see a Twilight, or by now we'd already see a Twilight Council alongside this. So show us what you got. Prism is on the way. Gonna be moving out. Extra gateways as well. Let's go. Again, we're on a very low gas count, so I believe this should be with slow lots. I believe this should be a slow lots move out here from the side of Creator. This is not the execution of slow lots that I'm used to, though. We're going to have some sentries or force fields as well, and we'll see if Creator can catch Shin with his pants down. So far, Shin, he's not aware. The Overlords are outside of the natural, they're outside of the main base. He has not gone in for a scout, not yet. He doesn't know. As Shin, he will spot the initial prism. And we have confirmation 2 base all in. We are going up to 6 gateways. So 2 base, 6 gate all in. Again, it should be with slow lots. Sentries are getting caught out, taking a bit of hull damage. He wants that Overlord. He wants it. I mean, he denies the scout. Already seeing these sentries in the War Prism is a tell, though. Of course, now Shin knows. He knows that it is a robo-based opener. He's worried the sentries. Back at home, we need roaches. We need lings, roaches. He's setting up defensively back at home. Gases are being taken. The all-in hasn't spotted. And here we go. Again, if you haven't been, especially if you didn't watch during the COVID era of StarCraft when this build was a little bit more prominent here, might not be too familiar, but slow lots, they're terrifying. Especially this early on. You don't need charge, pappy. You don't need it. It's fine. Queens are building up. We have a spore in position. I love it to zone away the War Prism. The slow lots have arrived. Nice transfuse saves the Overlord. Alright, pushing forward. Things are coming for a surround. Shows his force fields. And so far, we're holding on to them. The Zealots are getting to the Queens so far. Nice transfuse. The Queens are not going down. And Lings, they come in for a surround. The Zealots are holding their own. The Spore's moving in. He wants that Prism. He does want the Prism. The Zealots are slowly falling here. We're getting ourselves some of the Queens. The Prism does pull away. Does pull away in time. The Queens are falling. And now there's only roaches. Yeah, all the Queens have gone down. Looks like Creator, he has done it. He has broken through. Catches all the roaches. Brutal move command. The roaches get caught. And the slow lots, they pop up. As we mentioned, you don't need charge, pappy. GG gets caught. And Creator, he does pop off. He takes a lead in the series. GG. GG, well played. This only looks kind of ass. That's why I mentioned before, if you weren't here during the COVID era of StarCraft, there was an era in time where this build was very popular and very prominent for good reason. As we mentioned, like when you're going for an all-in like this, you don't need charge. Zealots, they do engage regardless. They're able to get on top of the army. It hits real fast and real quick. I did like Shin's concave. I did appreciate that he brought the spore forward as well. Unfortunately, it was a bit of a messy defense. He was trying to go for the Prism. Prism barely got away. Likewise, those Zealots, you cannot underestimate them. Shin, he wasn't kiting against the Zealots. He was just going straight for the dive, straight for a head-on engagement instead, and did not work out for Shin in the end. He was overwhelmed. GG. GG, well played. With that, so we do have Shin Creator taking lead in the series, but we don't expect to see this again. I should also emphasize that this build hits different on Pylon. We were talking about the rush distance by ground, and Pylon has the shortest rush distance by ground, so it hits harder on Pylon than it does on like Tokamak or Maganatha or Incorporeal. So this is also very map dependent as well. Well, let's go. Let's go as we're jumping into our next game and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Incorporeal. We have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg representing Weibo Gaming, WBG. It is Shin. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Blue Protoss player. We have the South Korean Protoss leading the series 1-0. It is Creator. Twilight Orb openers, clearly not feeling the Stargate. As I mentioned at the start of the series, we do expect Creator to mix things up. He has been going for a lot of Twilight Council openers, that is true, but that by no means means that he doesn't or he can't play standard or macro. He can. Like, we do often see Stargate openers, or we could even see Stargate into a delayed Twilight Council into Glaive Adepts, but we do expect a lot of variance out of Creator, more so than some of the other Protoss players out there. I think an example of that is Showtime. Showtime, we casted him last night in a PvZ, and he did open up the same every game. it was Stargate into a third base into +1 Blink Stalker every single game. You know, there are some players that are a little bit more fond of that kind of style of opening up standard. There are others that do like to mix it up. And Creator is one to mix it up. For now, we do have our standard openers. Natural gas pool out of Shin. This time he's not forced to expand elsewhere. attacks. Don't underestimate the power of the slow lot, man. The slow lot. Maybe the green screen is a part of another green screen. True, true. Let's go. Some people do that, right? Like they like screenshot their room, their background. No. SHIN. So now we're still waiting for our initial tech of choice from the side of creator. We have link speed on the way. SHIN, he pulls out of gas, so nothing crazy here. SHIN just gonna be working towards his third expansion. So again, everything's looking normal from SHIN. He's looking normal. And there it is, that Twilight Council opener out of creator. Now we'll keep an eye on the gases. We'll see if he pulls out of gas and goes into Glaive Adepts, or if he stays in gas and goes into a Dark Shrine build instead. Both are viable, both are options, bearing in mind that another one of these two openers is all in by any means. There would be an aggressive style to get into the mid game to get into a third base economy. So we do have that robo follow up. So far we're staying in gas, so higher chances is going to be Dark Templar. Yeah, it should be a Dark Shrine, but we'll keep an eye on creator. Yep, there you go, Dark Shrine's on the way. As we were emphasizing, a sign that's going to be Glaive Adepts is if you pull out of gas. If you pull one worker out of gas for each gas geyser, then it's more indicative of Glaives. Because you stayed in. Did scream DTs. And again, this is just an opener. With this, we can't get across the map, but we can gain map control. If there are spores in time, then DTs will be forced to morph into Archons, and then you can deny vision, deny scouting, and expand and get your third base up and running. As we have a 4-gate setup. So far, so good. Now, I really do like this opener because, one, it looks pretty similar. We're about to reveal a War Prism, and SHIN is going to be second-guessing himself. Like, it's a really good way to play with the series because of what just happened in Game 1. Ideally, you want to try to make it look like you're going for the same build and try to force an overreaction out of SHIN. As SHIN, he's already getting a safety Ro24. Again, this will throw down around 350, 340. Prism gets spotted. Spores are on the way. We have a safety spore here at the third. And a safety spore at the natural as well. So far so good. Detection is going to be available. SHIN, he's cutting workers a little bit early just to be secure, cutting workers at 40. Massing up Zerglings, layers on the way. SHIN, he is delaying his roach production. And now he confirms. Yeah, he's aware, he confirms, DTs move in. Lings are completely out of position. Ooh, no Lings to defend. They can fight. Oh, never mind. They could have tried to get on top of the Queens. Despite that, Lings, they hit the third base. Nice counterattack in the end. It does force a cancel. And the DTs don't punish. The Dark Templar, they do not punish the third base. Can trade against the Lings, but overall, this is a better start for SHIN. As remember, creator, he was trying to expand. This was not meant to be a 2-base all-in, but now he's stuck on 2 bases. Now he's that much more committed. You see SHIN, he rotates, he checks for a third. Creator forced to go for a delayed expansion, very late. And now the question becomes, is creator going to throw down a bunch of gateways and commit on 2 bases, or is he going to saturate his third? It's also on SHIN to determine what's going on. Behind this, roaches are amassing. Roach speed is on the way. SHIN, he is not joining up yet. There we go. Now making a handful of workers. So delayed droning, but he is droning. So he's droning on up, saturating his third base. Likewise, creator's also making probes. So we're now getting into the mid game. But again, this opener was lackluster. This entire time, ideally, creator would have already been out on the map with these Archons, hunting down overlords, denying creep, containing creep, and threatening mineral lines. But creator has been stuck at home until now. So a much better start for SHIN. Behind this, going for the Spire. Now, the reason why Spire and Mutaplay is really common and really standard as a response to DTs is because there's no blink. right? There's no blink stalkers. It doesn't really line up with this opener, with a DT opener specifically. So charge on the way, Archons are on the way. There's going to be a window in time here where Creator can try to break through Shin and punish him for going mutas. If he doesn't, the mutas, they can just wreak havoc and reign supreme. Slings against up the Archon. They will get a kill. Nice pickup. Very nice. Remember, the anti-air for Creator is going to be Archons and a handful of vanilla stalkers. Remember, there's no Stargate either because it was a Twilight Council opener. So there's no Stargate, which means there's no Phoenix production either. So again, this is all why Muta play is more common here. Creator, he knows this as well. Like, he knows that there's a higher chance that Spire is going to be on the way. He has not confirmed yet, unfortunately. He has yet to really dip in. The other scary thing about this is that even though Spire play is common here, there are other options. Swarm Hosts are also a viable option in this position as well. It's on Creator to figure out what exactly is going on. He's pushing. I do like this. Regardless of what's happening, he is pushing out. And his goal here is to try to punish his opponent, to try to punish Shin. Checking his vision, he still didn't quite confirm the tech of choice. Creator, he pulls away. He does have 5 gateways in production. No 4th expansion. So he's going for a gateway explosion. We have a handful of mutas on the way. Only 5. I do like this here for Shin. Only 5 mutas. That is enough to one-shot workers. Station Scout is denied. But it's not an overcommitment. He's instead focusing on his ground army. So Shin, he knows that Creator has a pretty threatening ground force here. And if Shin did go mass muta, then we'd probably force a base trade. There'd probably be a base trade, and Shin would not be able to stop that ground army. As soon as they get into the main, they force a recall. You see Shin, he's ready for a push, but there isn't one coming. Creator is chasing the mutas. Shin is maxed out. Shin, he'll soon push. He's just waiting for his upgrades. Yeah, bailing speed on the way. Once it kicks in, then it's go time. Shin, he should be pushing. Again, Creator, he still has no 4th. He's turtling up. He's getting more cannons, more shield batteries. Muta's still distracting in the main. Now, Shin, he needs to start trading soon. The problem here is that Shin, his army isn't really getting any better. He has +1 on the way, but Shin, he needs to start trading soon. Otherwise, I mean, here comes Creator. Here comes Creator. He's moving out. Ideally, Shin, he wants to engage earlier so then he can rebuild and remax whatever he loses. And here comes the dive. Nice force fields. Very nice force fields. Baileys, they do make it in, though. Get towards the left, they make it in. They connect with mainly Immortal. Immortals, they do survive. That's going to be 1, 2, almost 3 Immortals going down, but the Archons, they push through. That's a low Immortal count, though. Down to 2 Immortals. And with that, Shin, he backs off, and Shin, he remaxes with 37 roaches. As we mentioned, this is kind of Shin's strength. He won't win the initial fight, but he can just remax, rebuild, and go for a second engagement. And Creator, he doesn't have enough. Does not have enough. Miles is going away. There's 1 Immortal remaining. Against mass roaches, 1 Immortal is not going to be enough. It's not good enough. The Immortal is going to go down. And Shin, he breaks through. He busts on through. Again, Creator, ideally he was hoping that maybe Shin would have made more mutas, but it was only 5. GG gets called, and Shin, he takes game number 2, and we have a back and forth. GG. GG, well played. We do have that back and forth as we are now getting into our 3rd game. Again, Creator just had a really rough start. Winding it back, as a reminder, when it came to the DT opener, he lost the 3rd. Remember, he lost the 3rd base. He was forced to cancel, so he had to race all the way back home. It meant that he couldn't harass with his Archons anymore. It was just a really rough start for Creator, and he lost map control very quickly. Wilson very, very quickly. Shin was looking a lot more comfortable, and with that, Shin, he was able to get comfortable, able to saturate his third base, get his fourth base, take into mutas, and just maintain control from there. GG. GG, well played, and now we have that back and forth. Now we're getting into game number 3. Game 3 is going to be on Ultra Love. You can see here the map order ahead of us. We have Pylon, Incorporeal, Ultra Love, Tokamak, and Makanatha for that final game. Oh boy. Have our Vedas. Exclamation mark rabbit camp. Soon TM, papi. Soon TM. No. One day. Here we go. Could be letting in. And we'll see how players do adjust their builds this time. As again, our Protoss player here has been quite spicy throughout the course of this series, and here we go, coming into game 3, we have our South Green Protoss player, we have the Blue Protoss being forced into a tied series. We'll see if he can gain momentum and take a lead. It is a Creator. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player, we have the Red Zerg, representing Weibo Gaming, WPG. It is SHIN. Este SHIN. Feels green screen, man. It's fine. As we are going to be opening up Hatch Gas Pool, and our eyes are going to be on Creator here. Game 1, he went for a rover-based opener. Game 2, he went Twilight Council. Game 3, what is it going to be? Now, welcome to Ultra Love. Ultra Love, similarly to Pylon, has a short rush distance by ground. We do see a lot of all-ins on Ultra Love, especially historically. We've seen so many German taxis on Ultra Love, for example, as well. German taxis that have kind of fallen out of favor and fallen out of the meta, so that's going to be in the back of my mind, but not at the forefront. We'll see if Creator does open up Glaive Eps, which we haven't seen yet. Not in this series. We'll see how he makes use of the map. See how he does. Meanwhile, the problem with going for these aggressive builds consecutively here is that SHIN, he's on notice. Last game, we did take note that he had early Ro24, he had early spores, like he was already in the mindset of being very safe early on here. So this is where I would want to see Creator go Stargate and try to mix things up a little bit and preserve and save some of those Twilight Council builds for later in the series. Remember, it's a best of 5. It's a longer series, a longer back and forth. We don't want to, get too excited too quickly. Cybercore is on the way. SHIN should soon be taking his third base. Repping his own portraits, I think SHIN that is. SHIN, I believe he's repping Dark. I believe he has a Dark portrait, if I'm not mistaken. SHIN has been repping Dark ever since he retired. Much love to SHIN. Much love to Dark. So now we do have our Stargate. So standard open out of Creator. And again, I do like this. I do like this after, having a little fun in the first 2 games with calming things down, opening it with a Stargate. As a reminder as well, just because it's a Stargate opener doesn't mean it's going to be a standard game. You can still go Stargate into a third base, into an early Twilight Council, into Glaive Eps. That is still viable. That is still an option here. So Creator still has options. See, that does threaten the shade. Keeping tabs on SHIN. Shin is getting safety spores. That is a very early spore at in the main base. So Oracle does move out. Second spore at the natural. Oracle is spotted. And Shin is getting ready. Getting in position. Oh! Nice snipe on the tumors. And the creator expands. And now we're waiting for the Twilight Council timing. Waiting to see how early it gets thrown down, or how late. Meanwhile, early Evo Chamber out of Shin. Because it's so early, we're expecting +1 melee. Into a Ling Hydra base composition. Oracle gets 1 drone. 1 drone goes down. We do have our Twilight Council and Forge on the way at the halfway mark. So we're leading towards +1 and Blink. Standard follow-up. There's that melee upgrade as we mentioned. Again, typically if you're going into range, then it's a little bit later alongside a Ro24. The Red Chamber, I mean. And Shin, he will confirm the tech of choice. Confirms the production, confirms the tech. So a very nice scout here by Shin, very nicely timed. Sees everything he needs to. And Shin, he can just freely drone up and get his 4th base, saturate, get a lair. Shin knows he can settle it. Ooh, it's going to be 3 drone kills. Nice catch. 3 drones going down for creator. We are getting a safety Bailey nest. Interesting. Often it is skipped, but not this time from Shin. Nest. Shin, he does catch out something. That's not bad. He gets 1, he gets 2. Oh, he gets all 4 actually. All 4 depth kills. Very nice. This creator, he doesn't get across the map with them. Creator's still trying to be active. Meanwhile, a big shout out to Enki. Papi, Enki, papi, Enki. Gracias, papi, gracias. Gracias, papi. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great cast, I should say. I know that you were covering StarCraft Evolution, but here we are live with Maestros of the game. But thank you, papi, thank you. Descansa, papi, descansa. Enki. Hope you had a great time. Hope you had a great time with StarCraft Evolution. SCL over. Let's go, let's go. We'll be casting from replays, But I hope you had a great time. As we have mid-series, we're here in a best of 5 between Shin and Creator. To have a back and forth. As behind this, Shin, he's going to be messing up his Hydras. 5th base is on the way. Shin is getting map control, and Creator going to be following up with double Robo, double Colossus production. My apologies. I did miss this here. Double Robo. This is very old school. If you remember, this build was a little more popular back during, oh god, was it Altitude? Yeah, Altitude. Altitude, what, 2 years ago? Almost 2 years ago at this point. So it's been a while here, but a double Colossus follow-up here out of Creator. This does hit a very strong timing with 4 Colossus. So you make 2, then you make another 2, then you can push out with 4. 4 Colossus and +2 as well should be lined up. Players like Creator, players like Showtime used to be very fond of this back in the day. So it's been a while. There are some pros and cons, of course, when it comes to going for this. As you're heavily reliant on the Colossus. The Colossus have been revealed as Shin. There it is, Infestation Bit. His goal here, Vipers. We need that hive, we need those Vipers. As here comes that 3rd and 4th Colossus that we did speak on. The Colossus are coming. And again, that's lined up with +2. Shin poking in. The Oracle did not scout. Oh, there we go. It does scout. It does confirm the infestation bit. Creator knows. And we'll see if Creator can hit before Viper Tech. Speaking of Vipers, Temple Archives is done, and he can try to feedback. Alright, Templar morphing in. SHIN, he's being active. He's going double prism. Oh my god, let's go. Double war prism as well to reinforce and to juggle. Okay, let's go. He's getting a 5th Colossus. Aye, aye, aye. This, I don't know if, okay, interesting. Getting up to 5. I'm concerned that we're waiting a little bit too long, but here we go. SHIN is coming to Creator. Nice force fields, very nice force fields. Yeah, Ling Bane does nothing. Creator, he does hold, does defend. The Hive is still not done. So Creator, he will get away with this. He will be able to get away with the 5th Colossus, then push, and then potentially kill. As one of the Colossus is out in the open, bit of miscontrol there by Creator. One Colossus is going to go down. Oh, nice save. Nice save with the Colossus Banelings. They get in. Yeah, the force fields are lackluster. This time they're not as good. I mean, they're not as solid. There just weren't as many. And the base goes down. The expansion goes down. SHIN, he doesn't quite have enough to keep going. Creator starts 5 Colossus. Okay, there we go. We're bringing it all together. He's getting a 6th Colossus. Let's go. Let's go. And Creator, he's pretty all in. He just lost his 4th base. It's go time. The Hive is now done, but there are still no Vipers. So without Vipers, this army can still overwhelm. We're going to be heavily reliant on force fields on these sentries. A reason for this as well is, remember, no Ravagers. So force fields are going to be king here. They are not going to be able to be dealt with. Creator, he can take a fight, but we'll see how he engages. Nice catch on most of those Zerglings. We have to be careful with those force fields. We have to hold on to them. There's not that many. There's only 5 sentries. 5. Also, I'm a little bit concerned. SHIN, where are the Vipers? Again, this army is so vulnerable to Vipers. Taking up into Lurker Tech. Lurker Den is being turned down. Creator, we go. There we go. Let's bring it all together. Catching out a couple of Hydras, very nice. So what, 3, 4 Hydras going down. Banelings are almost done. Again, shows those force fields. That's a lot of Banelings. Force fields, oh, nice stasis. Stasis goes off. Rock's knocked down. The Banelings do crash in. They do crash in. Colossus are going to be falling. The Colossus are very low. And the force fields are not there. SHIN is trying to chase us down. Gets on top of the Colossus. No War Prism either. And now coming back. Down to 2 Colossus. Nice juggling. And Creator, he can barely take this fight. He saves the Colossus. Clutch micro, clutch juggling. In the end, Creator takes the fight. He gets into the mineral land. It's going to be 14 drones going down. Nice damage. And we got to keep going. We got to send it, Papi, send it. Keep going. And again, SHIN, he never got Vipers. He never got them. Instead, he was trying to brute force his way through, despite having the Hive, by the way. SHIN. And Creator's done it. He has done it. GG gets called, and Creator, he will take the game. He'll take a lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Creator, he was able to overwhelm. I will say that SHIN, he was maybe a little bit stubborn when it came to his response. When we saw the infestation bit and when we saw the Hive on the way, I was like, okay, so SHIN, he's on a timer, or I should say Creator's on a timer, at least until the Hive finishes, and then his army's going to lose a lot of value. It's going to lose a lot of momentum. But SHIN, instead of taking up into Vipers, he was trying to take up into Lurkers. He threw down a Lurker Den instead, which again was quite greedy, quite bold. Obviously, the plan for SHIN was to ideally surround the army to overwhelm. I'm sure he recognized how low the sentry count was, how few force fields there were going to be, but again, maybe a little bit too greedy, maybe a little bit too overconfident out of SHIN, and GG. GG, well played. With that, Creator does take his lead. Let's go. How does Viper counter? Abductions. So you can come in, you can abduct the Colossus and pick them off one at a time. The reason why this would work that much more is because the Stalker count was non-existent, so no Stalkers, there were no High Templars, so no feedbacks either. So your Vipers have more free reign to pick away at the high-tech units, specifically the Colossus. Yoink them, baby, yoink. Oh, I stepped up, and we 8 have Wings of Liberty style. True, true. No going Storm's like shooting yourself in the foot. I would probably disagree with that. Storm is a option, that is true, but we often see Colossus in PvT and in PvC as well. Like, it is a viable option, for sure. It's still a viable option. Of course, I should also emphasize that this build was very specific. You're going double Robo, double Colossus production. Like, it's a very specific build designed to hit a little bit earlier. Hello, Flipper Fact Check. Hello, hello. Bienvenidos, bienvenidos. Did each win their map pick? No, actually the opposite. Shin picked Pylon, lost Pylon. Shin picked Ultra Love, lost Ultra Love. Creator picked Incorporeal, lost Incorporeal. So it's been has been the opposite so far. The opposite. Of course, a lot of it just comes down to the maps themselves. Again, aggression more favored on Pylon. We saw a lot of aggression on Pylon. Incorporeal was a little bit more chaotic. Shin just having a really good response to the Archon-based opener, to the DT opener. For now, though, we are going to be going on a short break, very short break here, and when we come back, we should be live with our next game. We should be live with Tokamak. See you soon. See you soon after this short break. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to our first series of the broadcast. Welcome back to the Masters of the Game round of 24, day number 2, and we're jumping in mid-series. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss. It is a Creator. He's locked in. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player. Down in the series, the pressure is on. We'll see if he can bounce back and force the ace match. Representing Weibo Gaming, WBG, it is SHIN. Representing Dark, the king back. Let's go. Let us go, as again the pressure is on SHIN. But welcome one all to Tokamak. Tokamak is one of the larger maps. The map pool, longer rush distance by ground. Your more defensive style, defensive plays favored here on Tokamak. All-ins have a harder time working, and we're expecting to see a more standard opener out of Creator. We're expecting to see Stargate into a third base, into plus something Stalker, in towards a standard mid game. We'll see if SHIN can try to break him before that does occur, which again the map does work against SHIN if that was the plan, or if SHIN tries to be greedy and tries to cut corners and also try to beat him to the mid game, to the late game instead. We'll see. We shall see. When it comes to Tokamak, it isn't just how large the map is, but also the defensive features as well. We spoke about this previously, but the third, the natural, the fourth base, all relatively close to each other, so it's easier to rotate between them, more so than on other maps. On top of that, the area in between the third and the fourth is blocked off by these rocks. On other maps, this area is open. This entrance would be just wide open on, say, Maganatha or Incorporeal, for example, but here it is walled off, so again, it is easier to rotate on your 4-base setup. This is also why we often see a lot of late game on Tokamak as well. But I don't know if SHIN wants to play the late game, so well, we'll see. But now we have our Stargate open out of Creator. Again, to be expected. We could still see Creator try to catch his opponent off guard. We could see Stargate into a third base, into an early Twilight Council. We have yet to see Glaive Adepts so far in this best of series. We have seen Robo openers and Slow Lot all-ins. We've seen DT based openers as well. We haven't seen Glaives yet. But I don't know if Creator needs to take that chance, to be honest. Don't know if he needs to. As we have our first Oracle on the way. Creator picking in. There's a cast in this says I don't speak French. Oh no. You're welcome, Pappy, you're welcome. Yeah, there's a lot of streams going on at the moment. I know we're casting, I believe Indy's casting in Polish, Cosmo's casting in Portuguese or in Brazilian. I know that Steadfast was casting yesterday. I think he might be live today as well. Oh no, that's right. Steadfast, he was casting StarCraft Evolution as well. That's it. He was covering SE Evo. As you have an Oracle into a Void Ray, okay. Void Ray follow up at a Creator. Interesting. With this, he can hunt down Overlords, he can deny Vision, deny Scouting. Third base is being taken. And once again, we have an early Evo Chamber out of SHIN. Just like last game, going into early plus on Melee. So we're expecting Melee out of SHIN into Ling Hydra once again. Meanwhile, we have a Robo follow-up. Okay, interesting. That's going to be a Robo before Twilight Council, so we're not going into plus on Blink Stalker. Now, this could be a Robo into Twilight Council into Templar Archives. Otherwise, we could see something similar to last game where we open up double Robo, double Colossus production. So, Creator, you have my attention. You have my attention here. Robo's on the way. No Twilight Council, which means it's looking like the same build we saw last game, but leading more towards a Bay and a second Colossus. Or, sorry, a second Robo for Mass Colossus. It's going to be a decent gateway count, though. We're throwing down extra gateways. Immortal production has begun. Are we setting up for a Soul Train? With this gateway explosion, we can once again try to set up a bunch of sentries, slow lots. Okay, Creator. Does recall back home. Saves the Adepts.
Game paused.
As we do have a bit of a pause, hopefully everything's okay. It looks like a little bit of lag in game. Little bit. Whew. And again, just a really intense game here. Again, based on the fact that there's no Twilight Council or Bay, we're expecting this to be one big move out from Creator because there's no further tech. There's no Forge either. So no Forge, no Twilight Council, no Bay, no tech, no upgrades. It's going to be a really strong timing here. And what we're going to be looking at is SHIN going to drone? Is SHIN going to drone up? If he drones up his third base, if he starts to drone up his fourth base, if he's too greedy, then he might just topple over. That might be the end of the series. So the pressure is on. Or the onus is on SHIN to scout and to realize what's going on. To realize what's going on, to realize how committed Creator is. But it looks like Creator, he is lagging quite a bit. He is spiked up to over 1,000 ping. Thankfully, there's no big fight happening, right? There's no big engagements, right? Like, we have a bit of a lull in the game at the moment. But you can see Creator's camera lagging as well. Like, it's like freezing on us a little bit. Or stuttering. Oh. But yeah, Creator, he's turning off his webcam just in case that in hopes that fixes things. We're just waiting for things to calm down. Calm down. The rabbits paused the game. True. He casted this yesterday, though. I see. He did cast it yesterday, yeah. Here you go. Otherwise, hope you're all enjoying yourselves. Again, it's going to be a long night of StarCraft. It was long yesterday as well. I think we ended up finishing at 7 AM. It was brutal, Pap. It was brutal. Aye. Was brutal. Of course, as a reminder as well, !B, you can have a look at the Wikipedia page. But this is the lineup that we have here for tonight's broadcast. We have SHIN Creator, we have Gabe Trigger, Bunny Skillis, and Lambo Estrella. Let's go. I appreciate that we do have some NA representation as well with Trigger and Estrella. Wishing the best. Oh, but it looks like the latency issues are fixed, and we're jumping into our game. Looks like we're good to go.
Game resumed.
Beautiful. So we are settling in. Once again, just to bring us back here, it was a Robo follow-up out of Creator. We have a massive gateway explosion, and it looks like we're going for a Soul Train. We're going for a Soul Train. Remember, there's no further tech, there's no Forge, there's no upgrades, no nothing else here. We're going to be warping in Sentries and Slow Lots, and we're going to commit here into a big all-in. You can even see under saturation at the natural. Looks like we pulled some workers to the third base to make it look like we have more saturation than we really do, in hopes of luring SHIN into droning. And so far, what is SHIN doing? SHIN is droning. So far, SHIN, he is droning up. He is saturating. There's no Ro24. We're going Ling Hydra. And this time, do you see what I see? No Bailey Nest. Remember, last game, SHIN, he went Ling Bane. Here, he's skipping the Bailey Nest and is skipping the Ro24 as well. SHIN has purely Ling Queen to defend. And I think things end here and now, I'll be honest. I don't think she can hold against this. SHIN, he does hit the third. The third base is going to go down. And Creator, he doesn't care. He's all in. He doesn't care. He's all in anyway. And there is nothing to defend. We have drones. We have queens. And we have a handful of Zerglings. Creator, he's moving forward. Prism is here to reinforce. Lings are racing back home. We have a couple of force fields. The boys are being pulled. We come in for the surround. The queens, they focus on the initial Void Ray. Spore moves in as well, zones away the Prism. The Spore is trying to reposition here, but Lings, they're melting. Yeah, Lings, they melt. The drones are going down. The Prism is under fire, but the Queens, they cannot hold their own. Not on their own. The queen's being hunted now. We have some hydras on the way, but it's going to be too little too late. Once again, the boys are being pulled. Shin, he's getting desperate. Again, Shin, he was droning. He was being greedy. I say greedy. I mean, unfortunately, it was an all-in that he just didn't realize what's going on. As we pull all the boys. Let's go. I mean, hey, with the boys being pulled, Shin, he can hold. He can hold on. Does catch a couple of stalkers. He's building up his hydra count. Shin, he's surviving. Let's go. He may have lost 22 drones, but he still has a high drone count. Like, that's how all-in creator's been. Nice force fields. Force fields that he's throwing away a lot of the hydras. But the longer the... Oh no, the prism! Oh no! Prism goes down. No more reinforcements. And creator, he's running out of steam. He's running out of steam. The longer this goes on, the worse it is for creator. And Shin, he holds. Shin is holding. Takes down the immortal. And Shin, he's dealt with the army. Only a couple of stalkers remaining. A couple of vanilla stalkers. And creator, he has nothing behind this. He lost his mineral line. He lost his workers. Barely, not enough. Honestly, pulling the boys did save Shin. It saved him. It allowed him to build up his hydra count, to buy some time. And Shin, he's running away with this game. It's close, it was clutch, it was intense. Shin is getting his upgrades. Lurker Den is on the way. Hive is on the way. Shin is up 20 workers, 20 drones. He can do what he wants. And then created, he was so close. He was so, like, the stars were aligning. No Roach Warren, no Bailey Nest. They were aligning, but alas, I mean, I'm sure a big factor, I'm sure, was losing his mineral line. If you remember, if he actually had this base up and running, I would imagine more warp-ins, more reinforcements, a stronger push in general. I'm sure that was also a factor. And behind this, we have a secondary all-in, a second wave, Glaive Adepts. Now, Glaive Adepts, they can trade really well against Lings and against Hydras, so specifically against Shin's composition, Mass Glaives can actually do quite well. What they don't do well against is Lurkers, and the Lurker Den is now done. If Shin takes into Lair Tech Lurkers, he should be safe. And here they come. We have 5 Lurkers on the way. Creator, I mean, it's all or nothing. Does Creator have detection? He has 1 observer. Okay, he has 1 observer. So he has an answer to the Lurkers somewhat, kind of. That's a lot of adepts. And again, if it was purely Ling Hydra, then Creator, he'd have a pretty good chance here. Against Lurkers, it's not going to be easy. Let's go. He can shade past, true. He can just shade past the Lurkers, and he will. He misses the shade, heads for the natural, he just avoids the lunkers. And Shin is trying to keep up. He's trying to keep up. Again, that is a lot of adepts. That's going to be how many? That's 34 adepts. Again, Creator has to pull away. Shades once again. Over towards the bases, pulling them apart. Oracle's here towards left-hand side. Lurkers are moving in. Creator does leave his army idle. And the Lurker shots are brutal here. A lot of adepts go down. Down to how many? Down to 20. 20 adepts left. More of them moving in. Lurkers are trying to spread out. Yeah, they're trying to. Hydras are falling. Adepts are trading well. Oh my god. Again, if we can avoid the Lurkers and the adepts, they can take the fight. As there's 1 Hydra remaining. Creator trying to push through. Lurkers are falling to the Oracles. And Creator, can he do this? Barely. He barely breaks through. But there are 9 more Hydras in production. Creator, he's so close. He's so close to breaking his opponent, but there are just too many Hydras. Oh my god. Or are there? Oracle goes down. More reinforcements coming in. Once again, the boys are being pulled. And Shin just has to buy enough time for a handful more Hydras. And again, Shinny's barely holding. GG gets called. And we're going to the ace match. GG. Whew. A very, very, very close end to the game there. Again, winding it back, Creator, he barely didn't have enough to kill Shin with the initial all-in. The follow-up here was honestly really smart from Creator. Unfortunately, Shin, he was ready with the Lurkers. That did allow him to actually catch quite a lot of adepts early on. We saw that, I want to say like 5-6 adepts did fall to Lurkers when it came to the shade on the right-hand side, and Creator, who was bleeding out far too much. He was still trading really well as long as he could avoid those Lurkers, but it was just really awkward to reinforce, and it was still taking a lot of free damage from those Lurkers as well. GG. GG, well played in the end. SHIN, he barely does survive, and now we're getting into the ace match. Here we go. Getting into the ace match here. We're getting into game number 5, and we'll see how this story ends, as game 5 is going to be on Maganatha. Here we go. Frozen's flimsy and gimmicky like that. Creator is being very aggressive this series. He doesn't need to be. Like, it's not like playing standard or playing macro is off the table. Not by any means, but Creator, he has gone for a much more varied style this entire series. Like, we have not had a single standard game so far. We have not seen a single standard game out of Creator. We've seen, you know, mass. The closest we got to that was the game where he went Mass Colossus. on Ultra Love, if you recall, he went Mass Colossus on Ultra Love, which was crazy. So it's definitely been fun to experience. Without Lurker Tech, this would have been very scary. I'm pretty sure if there were no Lurkers to begin with, I think Creator probably just wins. Because, again, it would have been so much easier to reinforce the army, and he could have just taken these head-on fights instead. It would have been dicey, for sure. Would have been dicey, Pat. Yeah. But again, thankfully, SHIN didn't wait for Hive Tech. There are some Zerg players that even if they get a Lurker Den a little bit early, they avoid Lurkers until they get their upgrades. Like, it's not uncommon to see that. Thankfully, SHIN, he got them early on. Feels being safe. And we're just waiting for our players to ready up. Again, Creator, he was having some latency issues earlier, but looks like things have cleared up, and now we have his cam. His cam is back. Let's go. Let's go. How about Creator? We have our SHIN. Also, again, a big shout out to Comeback TV. Shout out to Comeback TV. They're the big casters and content creators in the French community, of course. The remnants of O Gaming. And they put in a lot of work to run the event, to host the event, make all the lovely assets, the overlays, the production, the webcams. And of course, all leading up to a big offline event happening in France. Big offline event. We're still in the online portion, still in the early stage. But we're getting there. We are getting there. So much love to those at Comeback TV, to Funka, TKL, Coca. True, true. I know they do a lot for the scene. They don't just run tournaments and cast. They also have their podcasts as well. I still need to get around to tuning into their podcast with Clem. They had a podcast with Clem not too long ago, which was a lot of fun. I only got to skim through it. It is in French, by the way. So bear that in mind. It's really cool what they do. Here we go. Here we go. We're getting into the ace match, the final game of the series. It all ends here. It all ends on Maganatha. And I mean, regardless of how this goes, I appreciate that we did go all the way to the ace match. We've yet to see a standard game out of Creator. Do we finally get one here on Maganatha of all maps? Potentially. We'll see. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Maganatha, we have the South Green Protoss player. We have the Blue Protoss being forced into the ace match, brought all the way to game 5. Can he bring it back? It is a Creator. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the red Zerg player. The red Zerg player himself, the South Korean Zerg representing Weibo Gaming, WBG. It is SHIN. again, we've had Creator be very aggressive and very intense throughout this entire series. I do really like the idea of him being aggressive and going for an all-in on Tokamak. Winding it back, if you recall, on the one hand, yes, Tokamak did work against Creator, but there was also a higher chance that Shin would cut corners, and he did. Remember, he skipped his Ro24 and he skipped his Bailey Nest. Like, the initial all-in from Creator hit as well as it could have, to be honest. Just unfortunately, you know, Shin, he was able to buy some time, able to pull back, pull the boys, of course, as well, make use of them to tank for his Ling Hydra, and barely pull off that defense. But now welcome to Tokamak. Oh, sorry, welcome to Magnatha. Magnatha is the largest map of the map pool. Very long rush distance by ground. But unlike Tokamak, the bases are more spread out. The bases here, the 3rd and the 4th and the 5th and 6th base, are all much more spread out. There's also more kind of avenues of attack as well that you can take advantage of, and it can be difficult to defend your fringe bases in a longer and later game, more so than on Tokamak. So there are some pros and cons coming into this. Because of that, my eyes are going to be on Creator here. He's done something different every game, and I'm expecting to see something different as well here in Game 5. Is what we're expecting. Based on the pylon placement, it looks like a Stargate-based opener out of Creator. We'll see. This is finally the game where he plays standard. Finally. So now Shin just getting into Link speed, joining up his natural, soon taking his 3rd. There's that Stargate for Creator. Typically, if you're going for a Robo or a Twilight Council, the pylon is thrown down further back behind the mineral line to hide the tech. So seeing it thrown down closer to the edge is more indicative of Stargate. So we have our Stargate. And as a reminder, last game we also had a Stargate opener into a Robo, into Immortals, into that all-in. So despite the opener being standard, the follow-up could still be something quirky, could still be something kind of out of left field. So we have our Oracle first. Last game we also had a Void Ray follow-up as well, to help hide the all-in. Creator, he can thread the mineral line, sword ups, they can one-shot drones. So they're forcing out these Zerglings here from Shin. Shin forced to defend. The Oracle moves out. Creator throws down his 3rd. And we are waiting to see the Twilight Council timing, if at all. As this time there is no Void Ray. Void Ray, it ups, they do threaten the Shade. Once again, early Evo Chamber, once again, +1 melee out of Shin. So Shin is going Ling Hydra. Whether he skips the Bailey Nest again, we'll find out. We'll be at Ling Hydra for the 3rd time this series. And we have the standard fault Twilight Council Forge, +1 and Blink. This tech is a little bit late here for Creator. Typically we see it a little bit earlier. But outside of that, so far everything looks as it should be. Okay. We're calming down. So deflected. Creator, he holds onto his 3rd. Double Oracle into the main. And we do get 1 drone kill so far. Ooh, the Oracles, they take a lot of damage. Take a lot of hits. We have our upgrades on the way. The Oracles, they barely get out. And we might finally have it. Again, Creator, he's done something quirky every game of this series, but now finally we have Stargate open into a 3rd base into +1 and Blink Stalkers, and from here we can just saturate the 3rd, start working towards the 4th base, take up into Storm. I say Storm, we do have the Robo follow-up so far. Okay. Alright, Gateway Explosion. As a reminder, on Ultra Love, we did have that game where Creator did go Mass Colossus with a second Robo and a Bay. And we might be heading in that direction as well here. I say that only because we don't have a Temple Archives yet. And there would be one by now if the plan was to go into Storm. Safety Baliness this time out of SHIN. Remember, he skipped the Baliness last game. He almost got punished for it. This time he does have it. Nice bait on the Stasis Trap. Melee is done. We have +1 range now on the way. Hydra's behind this. And yep, the plan is double Robo, double Colossus production. This is the same follow-up that we saw on Ultra Love. So again, seeing the lack of Temple Archives was indicative of this. But we are going to Mass Colossus again. Let's go. I think Creator, he peaked at, did he get 6 or 7 Colossus? Like, it was insane. Just how many Colossi he got. Things they move in, nice stasis, but only with the one Adept. And Creator out of position. Will lose the shield battery, but doesn't lose any workers. Nice control. Creator pulls away. And SHIN, he has yet to confirm what's going on. Oh no, sorry, he did scout. Yeah, did scout, did confirm. He saw the base, saw the second Robo, he knows. Now, if you recall, the big criticism that we had about on SHIN on Ultra Love was his lack of Vipers. He saw what was happening. Despite that, he did stick with Ling, Bane, Hydra. This time we have an earlier Lurker Den. Infestation Pit is already done, so we can take into Hive. We'll see if SHIN does embrace Vipers this time, or if he goes into Lurkers instead. He does have time though. Double Lurker Den. Yeah, double Lurker Den, so he's going to double down on Lurker upgrades. Creator's turtling up. And I'm favoring SHIN coming into this. Sure, Creator is going to have a power spike with his Mass Colossus, but here we go, we have Disruptors now on the way. I don't think he has that kind of window of time where he can break through SHIN, not as much as last time, of course. As the Lurkers are already morphing in, 9 Lurkers on the way. SHIN, he's maxing out, he's gaining map control, and Creator, Sky Toss. Yeah, he's already taking out. He's already taking out of Colossus, or he's already moving forward, getting ready for that Sky Toss. So we're working towards a longer and later game, but SHIN is going to be the first to attack, as he is about to max. And it's going to be on SHIN to deny these expansions. As Creator's taking another base. SHIN catching out some Stalkers, not bad. 3 Stalkers going down. Lurker upgrades are on the way. And again, there is a window in time where SHIN can try to force a fight and break Creator before we mass up much Sky Toss. Yes, there's a Mothership on the way, there's a Tempest on the way, but Creator needs time. As he will lose the Disruptor. Never goes off. Oh! SHIN pulls away. And he will not get the Disruptor. Nice save here by Creator. Very nice. Links are forced back. SHIN, he has not scouted the tech in the main. He does not know that there is another Stargate, there's a Fleet Beacon. He's unaware of the Sky Toss. Uh-oh. Throwing down a safety Spire, thankfully. Spire is on the way. Creator, he rotates to the south side, running into a wall of cannons. Nice force fields. Creator is buying some time. He's trying to come in from behind. Disruptors are ready. Tempests are about to reveal themselves. Tempests are revealed. No major connections. SHIN forcing his way in. Quest flanking on the right-hand side as well, but he runs into Tempest. Runs into the Mothership. And SHIN, he is getting into the base. At the same time, though, Brutal Zealot run by 7 drones going down. Both players taking some damage. But it looks like Creator here, he does give up on the base. The base is going to fall. Meanwhile, nice catching all the Lurkers. Yeah, Lurkers are getting caught out. These are expensive trades here for SHIN. They're quite expensive. As SHIN pulls away. Still pushing forward with his Lurkers. Into more Tempest. Yeah, the Skytos army is moving in, but the base will fall. Gets another Nexus. Not bad. Ooh, Brutal Novas. Novas are going off. Creator's still having kind of a hard time, but so far he does clean up more Lurkers. 3 more Lurkers go down. Creator's holding. Creator, he's holding, he's defending. Again, SHIN throwing away a lot of Lurkers, but he's remaxing with Corruptor. 10 more Corruptors on the way. Creator, he still maintains a high probe count. He's taking another expansion. But he won't save it. He won't hold on. And we spoke about this at the start of the game. These bases on Maganatha, they're difficult to hold on to because they're so much more spread out. Referring to the 5th, the 6th, the 7th as... Oh, there's a little bit of latency. There's a bit of a lag spike. Hopefully everything's okay. Laying exit with the natural. They find Artosis pylon. Oh my god. Delaying +1 shields and +2 air attack. Very nice. Artosis pylon goes down. Another expansion is denied. Again, Creator, he just cannot get a 5th. Armies are maxing out. Now, on the one hand, SHIN, he's able to deny bases, able to max out, able to work on a bank as well. His Corruptors are still a little bit lackluster. +1 air attack is just now finishing. Still lacking those upgrades. Oh! Nova goes off. And Creator, throughout all of this, has been slowly refining his army. He's got 6 Tempests, and now he's working on carriers. Like, he's slowly getting to his Skytos. SHIN now going for the dive. He wants those Tempests. And he will get them. Yeah, no Archons to defend. 1 Tempest goes down, 2nd Tempest as well. That's a lot of Corruptors. Jesus. That's a lot of Corruptors, and he will be able to take control of this, guys. Should be able to. Nice cloak. Overseer goes down. Oof. And the last Creator, he's being broken. He will lose all the Tempest. Every Tempest will fall. And again, there's just not enough support on the ground. There's only 1 Archon. And just 1 Archon. Another one's morphing in. Corruptors, they get softened up. But SHIN remaxes. He's just remaxing with Hydras behind this. Oh no! Lurkers, they get knocked down. And Creator, he is holding on, but it takes so long to rebuild that Skytos army. It takes so long to rebuild those Tempest. As that was 6 Tempest going down, the Mothership, a carrier. SHIN going for another run by. Creator's out of position. And he will lose another expansion. Does try to recall. Up. But he won't be able to save it. Yeah, the base still goes down. And Creator's just being pulled apart. He's being pulled apart. He just cannot defend. Not these fringe expansions. It has to Maganatha. As another Nexus falls. And SHIN at this point, yeah, he can afford to trade. Not easy to push into this base. There's some brutal choke points. Nice storms. Storms are popping up. he still breaks through, and he still gets another expansion. Well, the Nexus falls. And Creator, he's running out of steam. He's going to be forced into an all-in. He has no... He's on a 2-base economy. Not even. Main base is mined out. Natural also mining out as well. He's long distance mining. That's all the economy he has. He has some saturation top right. He has 6 probes mining. And again, it's just a slow death here for Creator. He just cannot maintain himself. He can maybe try to max out. He's almost there, but can't afford losses. SHIN is moving in. Yo, we got the first Viper of the game. Of the series. The first Viper. Let's go. Does a duck. Gets a Tempest. Gets a carrier as well. Now the carrier goes down. The Immortals, they do trade well against the Lurkers at least. But these are still just some brutal trades. As Grub does a reset the Sky Toss once again. No more carriers. Creator, he does take the fight on the ground, but no detection. No detection left over. And SHIN can just rebuild. We have more Hydras on the way. More Prism being chased down. And this is all the Creator has left. He's down to 4 Immortals, 6 Zealots, 1 Archon. If you had an economy, different story. If you have aces going for another recall, oh no. Not like this, not the recall to go for. As SHIN is gonna clean up, he'll punish the recall, takes down all the Immortals. Should catch the Archon as well. And that was the army. That was Creator's army. Ay, ay, ay. I mean, I don't blame Creator for recalling. Like, he had to save the base, but GG gets called, and SHIN, he will take the series 3-2, advancing on to the group stage. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to SHIN, as he does claim the series. Turns out they came immediately. He's again, it is 2 a.m. in the morning. 2 a.m. in the morning here, so GG, well played. Best of luck to Creator, as well as I'm sure they both are very, very looking forward to getting some rest and getting some sleep. But with that, SHIN will claim it and will advance on. Congratulations here to SHIN, and shout out to Creator for making it all the way to the ace match as well. Winding it back when it comes to Maganatha, we saw that Creator just had a really hard time protecting his fringe bases. Again, it is more difficult on Maganatha to do so than on other maps, just because of how spread out the map is, just because of how large the map is as well, so it can be very difficult to defend those fringe bases if you're lacking the supply, if you're lacking the army. And in the end, was torn apart. GG, well played. With that, we're now going to be getting into our next series of the broadcast. That was only our first one, by the way. Jesus, we're almost 2 hours in. Oh my god. That was our first series. We have 3 more. We have 3 more ahead of us. Up next will be Hero Marine, Big Gabe versus Trigger. Oh boy, you can see the lineup here on my right. You can see it on my right here. We have a SHIN versus Creator into Gabe versus Trigger, Bunny versus Skillus, and Lambo versus Estrella. 4 best of 5s in total tonight to determine the final players to make it through into the group stage. For now, we're going to be going on a break. We're going to be going on a break here. Our players, they need some time to get their Vitas going and to set up their webcams. And we're also switching over to the Americas server, of course, as well. So we do need some time, and when we come back, we'll have our next series. We'll have a TVP ready for you. We'll see you soon. See you soon after the break.